All right. Ugh, okay. All right, you guys. I know on last video I said I was gonna kind of go into, what made me actually flip the switch into getting into entrepreneurship, into getting sober, into getting into just personal development overall. But today, the past couple days, I've been hit with the biggest financial stretch I've ever had in my life. Like, ever. Throughout my entire life, I've always been the person who just had some money. I've never not had money. Ever since I was a jit, I've been the shit. Like, literally. Fucking Playboy Cardi and Timeless, dude. Like, kids didn't even understand it. Like, my mom made me get a job at Cane's when I was 16 years old. A couple days after I turned 16, like almost literally just days after. And I worked every single week, like at least 20 hours a week, at least, which isn't much, but I mean, for someone that's like full-time in school too, doing AP classes, all that shit, like it's pretty fucking, a lot. And I never spent that much at all. So I always had like I just thousands in the bank at through all the way through high school. Money was just never a thing. I always just had something. And even all throughout college, like I just worked so much in the summer, and then eventually I started my copywriting business where I was getting up to $8K a month in college while taking over the average amount of credits, 16 credits, and also working in a Mexican restaurant. All three of those things together, I've always just had money. And my highest high has been this year, not even 6 months ago. 6 months ago, I had $60K in my bank, just chilling in there. Like between seawall cleaning, between trading, between just sales, just $60K in the bank as a 19-year-old kid, like also being able to like pay rent, getting a fucking 2023 Porsche, living this lifestyle in Miami, going to like the nicest gym of all time, fucking like buying girls Louis V purses, you name it, bro. Like going out to dinners with like bringing chicks to dinners where the fucking bill is like $300. It's $100 to park just for the valet. And then just because I'm a savage and I want to like hook up the server, I'll tip the server an extra $200-$300. Like, oh my god, like you guys don't realize, like I've always been the person to like have some pocket change, and then I've always been the person to really be free with it. I've always been like that. Like I've always wanted to, like when I walked in to buy my Porsche, no cosign, I bought my Porsche 2023, less than 1,000 miles on it, all myself. And I walked in there, and I'm not even like a negotiator. I want people to make, if I like the thing that I'm trying to buy, I want the person to make money on it. And if I like the guy and I like the product, I'm not even gonna negotiate. He's like, best I can do is 50. I'm like, can you do any lower than 50? Like it'd just be like, sounds really nice at like 49 or something. He's like, nah, it has to be 50. And I'm like, all right, fuck it. I'm not gonna walk in there and be like, okay, well, I'm gonna really look around and I'm gonna try to find the best option here. That was never me, bro. I was just, all right, fuck it. I like the Porsche. Let's run it. We're at sign here. All right, cool. That was always me. When I would go out to eat and I would see servers, I used to be a server myself, so I know what it's like. I know what it's like to work in restaurants and how much it can just make your week when someone walks in and they give you a fat tip. You're like, holy shit. It's the best thing ever. I worked in restaurants for fucking ever since I was 16 to 18, so I guess only 2 years, but until 19, so 3 years. And it's the best fucking thing when you get a tip. It literally makes your entire day, your entire week. So I always try to pass that along. Even when the bills were, I've gone to multiple dinners now, multiple dinners in Miami, where like the check was at least fucking $500, $600, $700, and just throwing it on the card and then just tipping in hundreds, bro. Like we were straight balling. Like we were straight fucking balling. And we worked hard for it. It's not like we just it just appeared out of nowhere. I mean, like, I was putting my heart and soul into everything, and I still have, I've into myself, especially just personal development overall. I'm not gonna try to get off track here, but we worked hard for the money, and I was free with it, and I wanted people to win. And I might have just gone, I should have, what I think God is teaching me right now that I'm in one of the biggest financial stretches I've ever been in my life, I think God's trying to teach me a lesson of, hey, when you reap the harvest, don't just save some for the side. Save some for the side, because like the winter is going to be coming too. And we're literally, of course, we're in December. Couldn't be more perfect. Winter is definitely fucking here. And I'm in a position now where it's like, okay, well, I moved to Dallas. It didn't work out with home building, and I had to get into life insurance. But the thing about getting into life insurance is that it's a brand new business, and it takes time to get good at. You're not just going to be able to rip right off the bat. And the first 2 months I got my ass kicked. I mean, well, more like a first like month and a half. I basically made absolutely nothing at all. So I'm basically just banking off of what I've had, and maxing out credit cards. I mean, like, fucking all of that. And now it's at a point where shit's really drying up, and I mean, I'm making some sales, but I'm getting some chargebacks, and all of a sudden I'm at a point where I'm not that person that I always have been financially. So it's something I'm not used to, and I know I preach, don't validate yourself with the money, and it's true, but I need to practice when I preach better, I guess, because it's been hitting me hard. It's like imagine seeing the lowest you've ever seen in your bank account ever, and just kind of how that would make you feel after being used to a certain area for so long. I guess it happens to everyone. What I'm going through is the most common thing of all time. So it's not like it's the end of the world or anything, but I know it's important for me to just share the highs, the lows, like everything, Like, videos on this page have just been like me getting my 2023 Porsche, But like, I also want other videos here where it's like, okay, this dude was also fucked at times. So I don't know where I'm really going with this video. I mean, other than I want to show you guys that it's not going to be all highs and lows. But the biggest thing is that I'm not switching up my program. I'm not switching up my routine. I'm still in these moments like these where you're really kind of just getting tested. You're tempted to kind of go back to your old ways, like drinking, smoking, sleeping in, just fucking trying to figure out what the fuck is even going on. But it's these moments where you gotta stick to your program. You gotta double down on your program, double down on your schedule that you have set. I mean, still sticking to the wake up time. I mean, still going in and getting a workout in at the gym. It means still eating in accordance to your macros. It means, for me, still running. It means still, of course, putting in the work to actually like make the money too. It's like, validate yourself on the program that you have set. Like, how strictly are you following the program? You don't ever really have complete control over money. I mean, the past 3 days, it's all while I'm getting hit all at once by like a multitude of things. I invested in myself heavily into a mentor this past week. That was a fat check. I invested heavily into leads for my insurance business. That was a heavy check. Like, honestly, if I'm being honest, like literally about 4 times more leads, 4 times the amount than what I'm used to spending. So all of these things are hitting me at once, and within the past few days, I'm getting all these declines. Like, I'm selling people, they want the coverage, I get to banking, they give me all the bank information, and then the company is just at the very end saying like, oh, well, they're not healthy enough to qualify. So I'm just like, wouldn't even be in the situation that I'm kind of in right now if those were going through. But that's just the game. I mean, you don't really have complete control over shit like that. You know, you get these, I won't go into all of it, but I mean, you're gonna get curveballs is basically all I'm trying to fucking say. And it's really just about it. I mean, can you put a smile on your face and just keep pushing? Are you gonna let it phase you? Fuck no. What am I gonna do? Stop? Like, what am I gonna do? Fucking, I'm not even gonna go there. Smoke myself? Like, I've had those thoughts. I've had those thoughts bad, especially in my past. And I'm not even gonna lie, sometimes, like, the idea of it, I mean, even comes up a little bit now with just all this extra added stress. But, every time you go through something really fucked up in your life, you can always look back year, 2 years later and see the event as, oh shit, well, I needed to have gone through that to get where I'm at right now. There was a lesson in that season of life that I needed to learn to become who I am now. It happens every single time. It's like, just think about it. I mean, your first fucking heartbreak with a chick, you thought, at the time, it was the end of the world. But then you look back on it a few years later, you're like, oh, well, you know, she was a good person. I enjoyed that while it lasted, but like, I needed to go through that breakup. I learned a lot about myself when that chick broke up with me. She got me in the gym. Oh shit, if she never broke up with me, I never would have gotten in the gym. You know, it's like, we think it's the end of the world in these super painful situations, when in all reality, it's really gonna be the event that makes who you are in the future. So I might not totally understand it now. I've never gone through such a massive financial hit before, but maybe it's what I needed, you know? Maybe there's a lesson in this that I can extract from. Off the top of my head, it's mainly just put a little to the side. You don't need to buy the chicks the Louis V purses or take them on fucking almost $1,000 dates or fucking rent out of like Lambos on the weekends and fucking Airbnbs in Miami and all this crazy shit. Like, maybe I didn't need the 2023 Porsche, but fuck all that. I mean, I went through it because that's what my conscience was telling me to do at the time. That's the whole thing. I didn't know better. I was just like, fuck, let's run it, you know? Never regret something in a situation that you didn't know better. You didn't know better not to smoke, drink, and do drugs when you were a kid. No one fucking knew. But none of us knew. If you lived that life before, then you know what I'm talking about. You didn't know any better. Now that I'm older, I know better. So then the karmatic deck could just fucking take me out. But with the spending back then, I didn't know better. I mean, never regret shit when in situations that you didn't, know better in. When you do know better, then regret it for sure. And you should have some shit coming to you. But fuck, I guess this is a little bit of like a ramble fest, but this is just what's going on in my life, and I just felt the need to fucking give it out there. I want you guys to know that it's not all wins for me. I've always been like that. I've always showed my losses on the doors doing sales. I've always showed my past. You guys have heard my stories of me having addictions to drinking, doing coke, Molly, ketamine. Some of the stories I've shared are crazy. I mean, literally being 17 years old and fucking being passed out in the dirt like sand around a campfire at a fucking rave in the middle of the desert, literally on the floor in the fucking sand, and I can't move my body because I did so much ketamine and took so much Molly, and I'm in front of all these people and they're all like, is this kid good? Like, think about that for a second. I've shared all of those losses, and I'll continue to show everything. I don't give a fuck. Really don't, because I know that eventually at some point I'm gonna get out of it. Like, I get out of everything, and then I'm gonna look back on this and be like, fucking kid actually did it, That's the fucking way to see it. So your story is everything. Share it. Be authentic, be transparent. I'm being transparent with you guys. This is just the season I'm in. Eventually we'll get out of it, but love you guys. I hope you got something out of this. I don't know if you did or not, if anyone even watched to the end, but if you did, much love to you. And Follow me on Instagram, Black and Dello. Shoot me a message if you ever need anything. Let's get it. Let's fucking go.